So you've just booked a Walt Disney World holiday. Congratulations, you're going to have a fantastic time. But what are the 5 things you need to do now in order to make the whole thing plain sailing? Find out here on Disney for Brits. Hey D4Bers, how are you? Welcome to Disney for Brits. I'm David and I'll be helping you today with the 5 things you need to do after you've booked your holiday. So firstly, congratulations about booking it. I'm sure you're all really excited. There are 5 things you need to do now or immediately to help make this smooth and an easy holiday for you. Before we go any further, I'd love you to subscribe to the channel. Please click on the subscribe button when you see it. Please like the channel. Don't forget to click the bell. You'll then be notified when I do another video. And I'd love you to share this with as many people as possible. I love helping people. That's why I set up the channel. I'd love you to share that as well. So let's get going. The top 5 things.
5
is diary and calendar. Put your holiday in your diary and your calendar. Make sure it's in everybody's calendar that's going on the holiday. If you've got work holidays that you need to book them now. Nobody wants to get nearer the time and find that actually, oh, we forgot about it. Sorry, you can't have the holiday. Also, make sure it coincides with things like school holidays and stuff like that, if that's what you need to do and want to do. One other thing I find really useful, there's a tool I use called Tripcase, and I put my holidays in there, and it means in one little app I've got all of my holidays and all the dates. When you get your information from your travel agents, if you're on an Apple phone or a Android phone, then quite often that'll just give you the links to put it in your calendar. But make sure you pop it into everybody's calendar so everybody knows the date, so that you don't overbook it with something else.
4
Passport. Check your passport. Now, I've done a book recently and the links for that will be down below to help you plan for your holiday. And I said you need 6 months in advance. Now, this isn't strictly true, but it's my advice. You should have time on your passport so that when you go in, if you have any problems, you don't get stuck there and have no time left on it. Remember, everybody needs their own passport. It's a great idea if they've got 6 months left after the date that you return. I think it can be as low as 1 or 2, but I always like to have 6 months. Check everybody's got a passport. Check everybody's passport is in date. Check everybody's passport goes until past the holiday. And if they don't, then get your passport in to get it renewed. Maybe 6 months in advance. I think they do the date, so they'll add 6 months onto the end of the new one, but don't leave it till the very last minute. And if you've got children, make sure they've got their own, because again, I've done this and I've had a run from Peterborough to an airport to catch a plane, because at the time our son had gone off of his passport and then had to have his known and we hadn't done it. It's a long old story. Check your passport, make sure everybody's got one, make sure they're in date.
3
ESTAs. What's an ESTA? I hear you all cry. Well, an ESTA is a visa waiver to get into the States. You don't need to pay for a visa, but you do need to pay for an ESTA. But effectively, you go onto the system and be very careful. Make sure you go onto the proper US address. I'll put that down below and also in the comments, because there's some really lovely scam people that will charge you $90 to do it for you. I think it's about $14 or $15. Make sure you go to the proper site. You put all of your information in. You'll need your parents' names, parents' date of birth. It goes away, does a search on you. It can come back instantly. It can come back in an hour. It can come back in 2 weeks. Certainly, if you've got anything in your history that may make it difficult for you to travel, America are quite picky about anything to do with the police, whether it's arrests or criminal records or things like that. Give yourself plenty of time, and given it's only, as I say, $14 or $15, if you think you've got a slightly shady past that might be a problem, I would actually apply for your ESTA before you book your holiday. You'll then be sure that you can get it. You can then go ahead and book. My recommendation with ESTAs is normally 2 months in advance. If you want to be really safe, do it 6 months in advance, and you can do the family in one go. But you need to have an ESTA to get into the States. If you haven't got it, there's a good chance they're going to turn you around and get you back home. So don't forget your ESTA.
2
It's the airports. Why do I say that? Well, I know some people that have done their own holidays that have actually gone to Gatwick, parked at Gatwick, flown off on holiday, flown back into Heathrow, may have been me, and then had to get a journey back. To be fair, it's because the airline changed the flights, my excuse, etc. But check out the airport, look at airport parking, look at airport hotels, look at how long it takes to get there. Make sure you've got everything you need to make this holiday as smooth as possible. So I've said before, these holidays are not cheap. You're going to be spending £1,000 to £1,500 per person. So it's going to be expensive. It's not a huge amount of money to put an extra £100 on front of that to stay in a hotel at the airport the night before. It takes away the panic of traveling on that morning. It takes away the hassle of getting up at 4 o'clock. It also means you can check in the night before. Many airlines do this. So literally on the day of your holiday, you get up, you have breakfast, you go to the airport, you just walk through security. So think about things that you can make it easy for you. On-site parking so you avoid that dreaded bus, and hotels the night before you fly at the airport, and know what airport you're flying out of and flying back from.
1.
We're talking about this in May 2021. Disney introduced park passes about 6 months ago. A park pass is where you have to nominate in advance the park that you're going to visit on any day. And in order to do this, you either have to have an annual pass, you have to have a confirmed hotel reservation, and or a ticket. So one of the things you need to do now, if you haven't got it, is buy your ticket so you can reserve your park passes. Disney suggested that park passes may well be here for a while. Now, yesterday, let's say we're middle of May, Disney took away the requirement for face masks in outside areas, and some of the other parks are saying if you've been fully vaccinated, you don't need masks at all. I think park pass is going to be here for a while, so do look at doing this as soon as you can. You go onto the system, you say on this day we're going to be in Magic Kingdom, then Animal Kingdom. You can still park hop. At 2 o'clock you can go into another park, but there's no guarantee you're going to get there if they're at capacity. So now, if you've booked your holiday now, get your park passes booked so that you can be sure that you can go to the parks on the days that you want. So there you have it, 5 things you must do once you've booked. You need to make sure it's in your diary and calendar. You've done all the work kind of admin to get that in the calendar. You need to make sure your passports are in date or gonna be in date for when you get back from holiday, and that you've all got a passport. You all need an ESTA, and if you've got a checkered kind of past, get that ESTA before you book the holiday. If you've booked your holiday, get it now and make sure you've got it, and it gives you time for any kind of admin that needs to be done. Number 2 is check out the airports. Make sure you're flying to and from the same airport. Think about getting an airport hotel the night before. Think about parking at the airport if that suits you. This is all about making what's potentially a very stressful time. I know a lot of people are very stressed out with holidays, just making it easier. And then finally, book your park passes. The day that you've got your tickets, book those park passes. Not easy to say. The day you've bought your tickets and you've booked your holiday, book your park passes so you can go to the parks you want on the days that you want. Now, you may need to be flexible. There's some certain days that are really booked out. 31st of October, surprise, surprise, booked out at the Magic Kingdom and Epcot. The 1st of October, which is the 50th anniversary, is booked out at Epcot and at the Magic Kingdom. 50th anniversary of the Magic Kingdom. I look every day to get availability because I'm going to be there. So make sure you do all of those things. The other thing you can do to make your whole experience a whole lot easier is book through a qualified travel agent. Hello, I'm David, I can help you with that. I've started D4B Travel, which will help you out with any of your travel needs. And if you've booked your holiday and you still want help with all of the other bits like park passes and fast passes, dining reservations, hotels before you fly, airport parking, cars, etc. My details are in the link below. Drop me a note. I love to help people. That's why I set up the channel. That's why I set up the travel agency. So there you have it, the top 5 things to do before you book Walt Disney World. I hope you found it useful. Pop some comments in, tell me what you think. If you want to know something else about Disney World, pop that in the comments or hop on over to Disney for Brits on Facebook and put some comments in there and ask some questions. I'd love to help you. I've been David, you've been watching Disney for Brits, and as our pal Mickey says, I'll see you real soon.